Hey, you're listening to Not the Girl Next Door show, and today I have a special guest. I have Justin from Days to Come on the show. How are you, Justin?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Good, good. I wanted to talk with you about the band, what you guys have going on. We have some new music. So for those who haven't heard you guys, tell us a little bit about Days to Come. Tell us about the band, where you guys from, how you guys met, a little bit of background info.
So we've been around for about 5 years. We've gone through a couple different lineup changes, and Jalen, our drummer, joined us in 2018. So the newest version of us has been around since 2018, and it's pretty awesome. You know, we're from Albany, Georgia, which is about 2 hours north of Tallahassee, and we try to play all over the southeastern United States, and it's a lot of fun. We love hitting the road. We love meeting people, writing music, playing music, so it's pretty awesome.
Now, for the listeners that haven't heard of the band before, and that's what I always push, I'm like, get your playlist ready because you guys are going to fall in love with the bands on the show. I guarantee it. So for those who haven't heard you guys yet, what kind of sound, how would you describe your sound to the listeners who may not have heard you guys yet?
So we're a hard rock band, but we have, clean melodic vocals, poppy-type melodies that are sing-songy and lyrically relatable. I'm not a screamer. I would love to be, but my voice just doesn't seem to have that sort of ability to do that. So we're on the lighter side vocally, but we do enjoy heavy music.
So who are some bands you enjoy? Who are some bands that help influence who you are? Who do you guys like to listen to?
Alter Bridge is by far like my biggest musical influence. Vocally, I was raised on 80s pop bands and hair metal bands, and all those kind of super melodic bass bands. But when I found Alter Bridge, that really sort of cemented what I wanted to sonically chase, with music. But Brandon, our guitar player, he's really into prog, so he loves like Devin Townsend and Dream Theater and Pliny. And Jalen, our drummer, he's into just kind of straightforward, just heavy rock, like Avenged Sevenfold, Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, those kind of bands.
Now, the new single, Wolves, you guys just released it. Let's talk a little bit about the new single, your music that you have out, and I watched the video for it, and it's a lyric video, and there was a line that kind of stuck in my head. There's nothing to show you use and abuse. So obviously this is an emotional song. Is this something that you wrote? Something you have been through, or can you tell us that? Or let's talk a little bit about the new song.
So it is. It's definitely we went through some things, individually and as a band collectively. And Wolves kind of came out of that frustration of sort of living through that experience and being better because of it. Like the day after is always better, and we knew that we just had to get over that hurdle, and it would be better, and we would learn from that experience and be able to move on and be more mature and grow from that. But it was rough going through it, and I'm very thankful that song exists, sort of to document that sort of.
Sorry about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. So yeah, I'm just thankful that song exists. It kind of was rough going through that period of time, but yeah, it is an emotionally driven relationship style song of somebody taking advantage and you needing to break away from them.
So when you actually get up on the stage and you have to sing it live, how is that do you feel like you have to relive that hardship moment every time you get on stage to convey your feelings to the fans? Or is it like something you have to shut off, or maybe a mix of all of the above?
No, it's actually really fulfilling singing it, because it was sort of a not really a cry for help, but just like I'm shouting that I'm moving on. And I'm done with this, and I'm over it. So every time we're able to perform that song at a show, it's good to sort of leave the past in the past and acknowledge that we're better because of that negative experience that we went through.
And I think that's something that a lot of listeners would identify with. So when you guys, when you guys have played a live show, in the past, in the present, whenever it is, have you guys ever had, fans, listeners come up and be like, I really identify with what you're talking about, and does it just melt your heart when you see them singing their music and belting out the feelings like you're belting out your feelings to them?
We absolutely have. I mean, I've had so many people, message me or come up at a show and let me know how much Wolves means to them because of, an ex-relationship or some sort of hardship they went through that really resonated in that song for them individually, and how they were able to kind of put their own life into it and make sense of it. And, there's no greater feeling than when somebody can connect with your music and it brought value to them and helped them get through an emotion or a time or an experience. And that's just, I can't ask for anything more than that.
And is that like the ultimate end goal? We won't say end goal because there's always more goals, but when you guys get up and play on stage, is that what you like the best about music? Is that like the ultimate, how can we put it, point of doing all the hard work that you do, writing and producing and practicing? Is the ultimate end goal the live shows? Is that what you guys love?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love creating and writing, but there is nothing like playing a show and connecting with people in a room at the exact same time. We're all feeling that same energy. That is very, very special.
Now, what shows do you guys have coming up? Do you guys have anything planned for the rest of 2019? Do you have more music we're set to release, pushing us into 2020? What does Days to Come have going on for the rest of the year?
So we actually took off the rest of 2019 from playing shows and just to write. So we've already been writing for the past couple weeks, and we've got quite a few songs ready for 2020, and we're just kind of finishing them up and making sure that is the sound that we're looking to go into in 2020. But we do have an EP coming out at the end of this year, which we're kind of finalizing right now, and that's what all the singles this year will lead up to. And so we're looking forward to releasing that EP and connecting with more people online and finishing writing up for 2020. And our booking agent's already booking for next year, so it'll be a good year.
So are you guys big on social media? Can people find Days to Come all over social media? Where can they find your music? Where can they find your merch? Where can they find you guys?
So we're on all the social media sites, and we've made it very, very easy for people to find us. It's just Days to Come Music. So if you search on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, it's the exact same username. We have a website, which is just daystocomemusic.com, and people can sign up for our mailing list, get free music there. We are on all of the major, streaming and music selling platforms, so they can find our music on there. But yeah, we're huge on social media. I absolutely love connecting with people, whether that's in real life or at a show or online. There's nothing I'm trying to chase more than to just bring value to people and have music that I'm a part of make an impact in their life in a really positive way. That's my end goal, in doing this. And I think social media is a wonderful tool at being able to connect with people and stay in touch with people. So that way, they'll know when you come back into town and they'll come out and see you.
Now, just the flip side of social media, I guess, have you ever experienced, or do you ever at times feel that maybe social media gets a little too invasive and maybe people can get too close and they want to know what's going on every minute of the day or waking hour, what you're eating, what you're doing? Have you experienced that yet? Because I've had some bands tell me, like, well, we kind of had to back off some things a little bit because, people were tagging us every time they were eating or every time they were going somewhere that had nothing to do with the band. And it was a little stalkerish at times. Have you guys experienced that, or just all the positivity that comes from it as well?
You're always going to experience some of that, and that kind of comes with the territory. If you've opened the door and you're allowing people into your life, then you have to be able to accept the 3 o'clock in the morning somebody's going to message you something. It happens. You don't have to respond at 3. You can respond, at a more decent hour. But if you've opened the door and said, hey, I want to be able to share my music with you and I want to connect with you, then every once in a while you're going to get some things that maybe you weren't looking for. And I don't think you can really turn that away, because it doesn't go both ways. It's kind of all or none. And if people value you enough to tag you in all those things and share their life with you and want to know more about you, well, as much as you're able, I feel like you should share with them, because especially as an independent artist, you're trying to get as much attention from them as you possibly can. And They may initially like you because of your music, but they might enjoy you more because you guys have more things in common, like, I love motorcycles or video games or traveling or books and certain genres of movies, and you can connect with people in multiple ways and establish such a great relationship with them. And, by closing yourself off and focusing, I'm only going to do music, I don't want to know anything about my fans, or I don't want them to know anything special about me other than music, I think you're really limiting the amount of relationship that you can build and make some solid friendships.
I absolutely agree, because I've noticed, obviously we have bands that we see that charge for their meet and greets, but I also think it's awesome that those same bands will take the time after a show and spend, an hour or two with fans, regardless if they had the meet and greet in the beginning. And, I was just at Nonpoint, and, those guys have been around for 20 years almost, and, they did the meet and greet in the beginning, but then in the end they had, walked up and talked to everybody, and they were so sociable, and, and I see a lot of bands doing that more and more, and I think, if that person wasn't a fan because of the music, then they should have been a fan after that happened, because, you guys have busy schedules. You guys are running from one city to the next city, and, you're wiped out after going on tour and wiped out after, long nights, and, I'm sure it takes a lot of patience, to like, oh, here, take my picture, do all of this, and, just keep going on for hours upon hours, I'm sure.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely can be very tiring, just traveling in itself is exhausting. And then playing shows on top of that, meeting a bunch of people, and something will probably go wrong between waking up and going to bed, and it's just, having to make sure that you always have a smile on your face and you're ready to meet the next person, it can be challenging. But I do believe that so many artists, they get into the industry, one, because they love music, but because they also love connecting with people, and they don't want to just play music in their bedroom, and that's why they're either a solo artist or in a band, and their music's online and it's, playing on radio, and they want to play shows and meet people because they want to share their music. So, I do think a lot of artists are very excited to meet people.
Definitely, and I see you post on social media, and you have such a positive outlook, and I think it carries through in your music and carries through in your passion, and it has the whole time. You guys do a lot with Rock Rage Radio, a lot of posts, and the fans love it. They eat you guys up, and I appreciate your positivity and just the way, you support everything and everybody in a positive manner. You see. Sometimes you got to step away, especially from Facebook, because you see this negative all the time, and it's so great to see others supporting each other and the positivity through it all. And you are definitely a proponent of positivity.
Well, thank you. I don't look at music. There are obviously facets of the industry that are competitive, and I'm not naive to that. There's only so many slots on a festival, so many opportunities, in press, but by and large, music is not competitive because it's so subjective, and one song, one band, one artist may resound so much with one person, and then another person may absolutely hate that band and everything that they do, and that's okay, and they're 100% right in their way, because that's up to the listener. So you never know, when sharing bands and music with friends and fans, you never know what song or what artist they may fall in love with, and music is so powerful, it's so special, and I just want to share as much of it as I can. And it's not only my music, just other bands that we've been able to get to know over the years, because there's so many great bands out there.
And I agree, and I don't know. I guess it's a mom, like a mom looking at their kids saying, "Oh, what a great job!" And that's what I love to see is bands supporting other bands. I don't know, this melts my heart more than anything, and I agree so much with it's not a competition because it's like saying you can only like pizza and you can't like tacos. It's different flavors. Each band has a different flavor. Yeah, they may sound similar to another band, but they aren't that band, and I love that. And that it's just awesome to see the support.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many bands out there that I feel do think that it is a competition for whatever reason. And they're always just looking to make sure that they're on top and that they are the one that's improving. And it's oftentimes I see those bands are the ones that aren't really connecting with their fans. They're not actually making a valuable, deep relationship with them because they're just looking at what can I get out of this relationship. I want you to buy my music. I want you to come out to my show. Rather than I would like to spend the evening with you enjoying music. Some of it's mine, some of it's the other bands that are playing. You may find your favorite band, and it might not be me. It may be another band that we're playing with that night. But either way, it's going to be a great time, and I would love to hang out with you. I think bands that have that attitude are ones that go farther because they're able to put up with more. And there's so much negativity in the world now, but there's so much negativity in the industry. With playing shows it can be incredibly frustrating because there's so many moving parts and there's so many things that can go wrong and oftentimes do go wrong that are out of control. So yeah, having a positive outlook and having a team attitude definitely makes it so much easier.
And it's great that you say that because I watched the band Artifice. I watched them from the beginning. I don't know if you know them. They're out of Tennessee and they come up to Illinois a lot. And they are one of those bands that they'll stay out, hang out with the fans afterwards. People bring them food, offer them places to stay. I mean, I can imagine how that helps them just knowing that, oh gosh, so and so's bringing us some tacos, or so and so said that we could stay at their house for the night, and I see a whole family of friends, just seeing that band around, and you're right that those are the bands that make it because they love their fans, and their fans love them, and they show the love to each other, and that's great to have.
Yep, I agree.
Well, Justin, when you guys released the last EP or the end of EP at the end of the year, definitely come back on. If you guys have anything going on, message me and I'll share it. I thank you for coming on the show today.
I sure will. Thank you for having me, and I will, I'll get you that EP as soon as it's out.